Hello and welcome to X&Y Gaming, another Minecraft video. I have some footage somewhere and I'm going to slap it in the background. Today, I want to talk about both religion, my own little journey in it, a fun little interaction I had with the priest, swearing, and the overall sensitivities as seen in society today that just make me sick. Such an old classic style video. Let's get started. Also, I still can't find my microphone in my car home, and I'm looking for a job again. Because, as you may know, how do you like your steak got me fired for sexual harassment. Even though that's an innocuous question that pertains to the most mundane daily task probably every human does, but I digress. Religion is crazy. You start talking about that and people get up in arms of, which one is right and how dumb they all are anyway. I love how, in Christianity, it's perpetuated as feeling God's love. And I would love to feel that love. I would love to feel a purpose in my life and to be able to actually have a place to call my own in return for that purpose being fulfilled. But I've been doing my own research and actually reading the Bible. I've started in Isaiah simply because my mother's favorite Bible verse happens to be in that book. And I gotta say, while I'm not super far into it, I've read a lot of this Lord of Hosts, presumably also the one true God. Man, this guy has a real God complex. I sort of get it, This God is the entire reason that any of this exists and is the reason any of these people are here. And yet, there they are down there, living their lives, getting laid, following people in power and chasing gold and silver. How dare they not play service and tribute to you? So, you know what you're going to do about it? You're going to create a bunch of troubles, trials, and tribulations that you're just going to make it hell for those people. Damn them. But then you'll come down from on high and be all, yo, I'm here to save you, rejoice in me and sing songs and feel my love. It all just seems pretty toxic, manipulative, and petty, doesn't it? I mean, if the Garden of Eden was a test of free will, with the fruit of knowledge being forbidden, and a test of their faith in their Creator, so it would be their best interest and free will to not eat the fruit. But then you go so far as to create a creature that would cause them to go against you even harder? Because it's all a test, right? It really seems like the guy just wanted to create and control something, decided to let it rebel if it wanted to, and then got mad at them when they opted to rebel as they had the freedom to do so. I don't know, I wasn't there, I didn't see all of the context that went into it, but it seems that kind of a dick move from a bored God. Then you get into the weird logistics of how religion works. It's like that Family Guy joke about Osama bin Laden accepting Jesus Christ as his personal savior seconds before being blasted to death, only to instantly end up in heaven. And maybe he was already on the right side of God, and I'm just butthurt about the guy because his apparent attacks took place on my home country. And maybe no one is on the right side of God, and there isn't even one. I personally doubt that last thing. I'd have to say that there is some sort of God somewhere, and maybe he isn't even around anymore. Maybe they gave up with their project and moved on to greater creations. I certainly don't know any of these things. What I do know is a man of God, much less any man, should be able to accept a compliment without getting offended. Alright, so there was this pastor, right? I know I said priest, and you can cry clickbait, but he was actually a South Texas Baptist pastor. We were cool with each other as I was growing up, but as I got older, yet was still Facebook friends with him, as was my whole family, him and I ended up butting heads a few times. This man is just a cliche, hard-working man that loves God and his family, while I was a gothic punk bitch boy of a kid. I grew up watching Adult Swim and other crass cartoons, and watching comedy films my parents probably would have hated any second of. Anyway, back to the books with faces. So he posted a joke one day, and while I don't remember it exactly, it was just an innocent, clean little gag, and it was wildly coy and funny. It was great. So I left the post a comment about how you actually could be funny without being sexual, sweary, or otherwise rude, and he actually did it. I respected and liked that. It was great. Somehow he took that as an attack straight from hell, and this hard-working man of God, who somehow has a position at basically his own church as the head of it, being the pastor, i.e., this man who is in charge of leading an entire building of people, also doesn't even take the time to talk things out and figure out what I'm saying or where I'm coming from or anything. And just straight up makes a post about, I'm outright blocking you, at me, my name. Because of this. And it was him copy-pasting my comment verbatim. So I don't know how you thought literally pasting the same compliment was supposed to come off as any sort of insult, but okay. Full honesty, as I'm writing this, a lady is nearby with her crying infant. It's very fitting. Anyway, religions are crazy, and I personally don't think that really any of them are correct. I feel like pretty much all of them support love and peace, but also a lot of them are heavily associated with wars and other terroristic acts. While I'm not necessarily out to insult any one of them, I would definitely love to scrutinize more of them, especially the one peddled onto me by my parents. Oh my god, the fact that there's so many flavors of Christianity and even the Bible, like, okay, you got King James Version and the New King James Version and the New Age or Modern Version. You got Protestants, Catholics, Baptists. I'm pretty sure one of those is viewed much more highly than the others. It's all crazy and foreign to me. Then there's all the parts of the Bible where the Lord commands people to kill even children, or, quote, take the women who haven't known a man for yourselves. Then there's the time he convinced Abraham to kill his own son simply because that was the will of the Lord. Scary stuff. It's all based on faith and belief, and as long as you're overall getting good health and happiness and structure out of your religion, then good for you. I find it hard to root for the religions that just objectively treat people like less. And basically into the Middle Eastern ones that societally demand the women be one certain type of way. And me personally, I'm all for women doing whatever the hell a man does, societally speaking. Me personally, I have been trying to curb my extensive swearing. Even when I do in my videos, most recently I've come to censoring them. One, because I think it's kind of funny to do the beep, but also because not everyone wants to hear that. On that level, I can respect it. However, I also wholeheartedly believe that anyone who does hear the occasional swear would simply try not to parent you and just get over it. Now, my stepdad, he's another cliche, hardworking, God-fearing man, and if I'm visiting his house, he doesn't want to hear any of it. And this wasn't necessarily done in some overbearing parenting way, you know. He just literally talked with me one day. It was like, this, and I'm paraphrasing here, he goes, this is my house. I've worked hard day in and day out for several years to be able to have this and even shared it with your mother and you kids. I know people swear and I know I can't stop you from doing it. But I don't swear and I don't like hearing swears. And I'll like it even more if you didn't swear while you were in my house. Then, just like that, with facts and logic, this man sat down and was able to convey to me, without hate, without condescension, his own line in the sand. And I respect not to cross that. But society is different. Society, as a whole, expects to be able to say anything they want and act however they want, but you have to act neutrally and without opinion. And God forbid you ever share an opinion, then your opinion better match theirs. Otherwise, a joke turns into a civil lawsuit. The world is completely and I'm sick of it. Who cares what religious book you read from and what holidays you celebrate, as long as you're not actively hurting yourself or others? As a society, we're told suicide and self-harm is objectively bad. But also as a society, we say playing pretend with the mentally ill and encouraging them to get a harmful elective surgery is objectively good. We, as a society, often agree that killing people is objectively wrong. However, if you ask, how should we deal with this child rapist? Then, 9 times out of 10, the answer you'll hear is a resounding kill him. Everyone seems to have varying degrees of acceptance and tolerance. It is 100% for this reason that I can safely conclude there will never be genuine peace and harmony on this planet. The utopia that people like to dream of simply does not and cannot exist. This might seem like a bleak message to end on, but that's only one perspective. You can't control anything anyone else does. You're certainly not going to sway the hearts of those who are instilled with viral amounts of religious backbone. So, what can we do? Well, this is the problem with society, because I don't know. I just know that we, as a society, sit back and let a lot of things happen simply because we are all but one person, with our own lives to live and our own problems to solve, seemingly forcing everyone to take a bland, complacent position of people can do whatever they want and we have to respect that. And, on one hand, that is a wildly mature and healthy position to take. But when society as a whole says you have to accept something that is just blatantly wrong, what do? I may be one person, but I can at least stand up and voice my own dumb opinion. People in society try to police you and control what you can say. Hey, fuck you, that's and I'll say whatever I want. If you don't like it, then don't listen and don't read. People in society try to say if someone wants to live their own life, to let them. If that's because if someone decided they wanted to kill themselves, literally there's commercials and programs to stop that exact sort of thing. If your able-bodied child met a paraplegic and decided, I want to cut my legs off so I can be in a cool chair, you'd slap some sense into that kid and teach them that hurting yourself to play pretend is harmful. So why, oh why, do we as a society turn a blind eye to people who want to mutilate their own genitalia? How many years does a person have to go through school and training and research before they can be a doctor that delivers babies? I have never, once, ever, in my 32 years of being alive, ever been curious about baby junk. But when people publishing papers and teaching lessons to children come out and say, oh, a doctor guesses your junk, sometimes they make mistakes. Like, yes, people make mistakes and it happens every day. But society has posited the question to me. What does a baby junk look like, and how hard can it be to tell the difference between a hole and a prick? Society has become and the entire trans movement is clear evidence to me. The way literally anything can be sexualized, from something as innocuous as, how do you like your steak, to how we as a society are supposed to play pretend with a mentally ill patient and call him a her, or let a guy compete with women in sports. Hey fellas, do you like to beat your girlfriends? Simply elect to have your penis inverted and you can be a woman's MMA fighter. Say boys, do you place poorly at your sports meets? Inject these chemicals and hormones into your body and compete against the women. You'll be applauded as brave, instead of ostracized as you should be, and we'll even call you a Woman of the Year. What? Actual women? You are an actual woman now. All of you that support this, and you're what's wrong with society. You're not a woman, Stacy. You're a mentally ill surgical patient with the name change. Alright, I'm done. Back to filling out applications for jobs that will probably never hire me.